So, according to a friend over at BehindTheGloves.com, the article right below, Victor Ortiz on December the 13th, 2014, is going to be taking on a fighter by the name of Manuel Perez. He's 20-10 with, if I'm correct, 2 draws. He's only been knocked out once, and it was by Brandon Rios. He's got a win over Edgar Santana. Lamont Peterson fought him on the undercard of Danny Garcia versus Rod Sulka. Oh, excuse me. Fans, we wanted Victor Ortiz versus Andre Berto too. I knew that it was not going to happen. So you had to think, if Victor Ortiz comes back, okay, we already know that he's on the card. Now, it's not necessarily official yet, or it hasn't been officially announced, but Behind the Gloves is a pretty reliable site. So, long story short, I'm seeing the reason why, if it is Perez, they picked him. I'm going to hold on to a number, and usually when I say the boxer's records, there's a reason why, but this time it was one number I left out, and it was for a reason. When you look at Victor Ortiz's 7th fight, if I'm correct, it was his 7th fight. His first loss was by disqualification, because why? An illegal punch. I didn't get to see the fight. I only got to read up on the fight. You look at his next loss to Marcos Maidana, when he was beating the snot out of Marcos Maidana, he quit. When you look at the fight against Lamont Peterson, it was a draw. When you look at the fight against Andre Berto, his only significant win. When you look at the fight against Jose Zito Lopez put him out for a year, broke his jaw. And what did you think when Victor Ortiz's jaw was broken? Like when the fight first stopped, we fans, and I remember I covered the fight. Go back on an old grainy video I got, from, like 2012. And what you see is you see me thinking, because I cover fights immediately after they go off. So you got me thinking, he quit again. Because of the last thing that happened with Floyd Mayweather, and then Marcos Maidana, and then him getting disqualified early in his career. I didn't think his jaw was broken. That's why he had to post the resume. The x-ray, of his jaw completely disconnected. Because a guy like him, it's like, your credibility is already fucked. Now, he's the type of guy that he could be knocked out 15 times, 15 straight fights. And somebody interview him and say, Victor Ortiz, what do you think about your career? And he'll say some shit like, 15 straight knockouts don't define me, bro. He'll say some old bullshit like that. So, I see him as a fighter that has a lot to prove. Can you expect to see him in there against a big puncher? No, because just so happened, Manuel Perez only has 4 KOs. 4 KOs. Maybe it's the promoter in me. Of course I would put Victor Ortiz. If I could find a guy that was 20-39 with 0 KOs, I would put him in there with Victor Ortiz, because that's how much shit he's got to prove to me. For him to be on the undercard of a big fight, and it's been moved up even further because Jamel Charlo, the brothers Charlo, is not taking on Demetrius Andrade anymore. So most likely they'll probably move Jamel Charlo, the brother Charlo, down to fight and promote Victor Ortiz, Manuel Perez, up further. So honestly, I don't even think he should be getting another chance on Showtime. Like, what if this guy with 4 knockouts knocks him out? Or what if he outworks him? What if he outworks Victor Ortiz? Now, I won't have any actual, how can I put it? I watched like a glimpse of Perez. So by the time the fight comes, or another video within a week or 2 weeks or so, I'm gonna be able to tell you how Perez fights and if he actually has a chance to win. But what I'm saying is, it's like, why should I count Perez out? I mean, you can say, okay, all right, Luis Collazo is above, Perez. You got Jose Zito Lopez, who was swinging for the fences, and he was above. And of course, you got Floyd Mayweather. But even if you look at the Andre Berto fight, he had to use whatever little bit of heart he had, and that's the only fight, realistically, in my opinion, when he really, really showed heart. That's just my opinion, though. I know I may seem a little harsh, and like I said, that's why he's got to prove something to us, and that's why I forgot who his trainer is. Was it Pedro Diaz? Joel? I forgot. I believe it's Joel. I believe it's the one that got Bradley. Long story short, everybody knows, like, all right, listen, man, like, get your fucking head into the game. He just never seems to be focused. When I saw him get knocked up by Victor Ortiz, I thought to myself, he could get back up. But the way he was looking, he was just sitting there, he was just lost. Like he was thinking, like, I'm not getting my jaw broken again. He probably felt that little tingle. And he probably like, nah, man. Because immediately he turned around and put his ass up in the air and just started cowering away and looking back. How can I ride with that? How can I vouch for you? You know? So, Manuel Perez, according to BehindTheGloves.com, the link is right below on T Street Controversy. T Street Controversy Live of RealCombatMedia.com is the website I'm with. And I cover every single major fight live. So basically, Amir Khan versus Devin Alexander, Jamel Charlo, Brothers Charlo versus whoever he's fighting, whoever else is on the goddamn card, because I believe who else is on the card is somebody else you probably don't even know. Yoshihiro Kamagai is going to be on the card. I'm going to cover his fight. And of course, I'm going to cover Victor Ortiz versus Manuel Perez, if that is official. But I'm saying it's about 90% chance. So there you have it. You have the name. He only has 4 KOs. So if you get a chance, go Google him. You know, most notable fights, Jose Miguel Cotto, Edgar Santana, and Vivian Harris, a couple more. So he's been in there with credible competition, even though he's lost. But, you know, his only knockout is to basically a guy who fought Pacquiao on pay-per-view in Brandon Rios. So the guy, you know, he has some skills. And now you should already equate the fact that, okay, he's going to go out there and try to obviously outwork Victor Ortiz. He's never, you know, he's not going to be looking for the knockout. But then with Victor Ortiz, this guy might come out there and say, oh, I'm going to get that 5th knockout on you. Because that's probably, you know, that's what I would tell my fighter to do. I would say, okay, be careful, but you know he's still damaged. You know, he's coming off of 3 losses. And we know, like, each one of his losses has been on some controversial type shit that was his fault, you know, outside of Jose Cesar Lopez breaking his jaw in a fight that he was basically winning. But long story short, I would test him mentally. You know, I would come at him, keep bum rushing him, you know, like tying him up, pushing him, you know, like, you know, get a little dirty with him, get that one warning from the ref, you know. But, like I said, I'm T Street Controversy. This is T Street Controversy Live. Subscribe.